Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard to hurry your chores, kids. There's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance, simply different.
Coming to you from the Bonfire Studios North, it's another episode of Torres All Access. I'm Peter Theodos. Joining me for the second week in a row, Mr. Colby Brault. Colby? Coming to you from the Bonfire Studios North.
Ooh, we have
it's
an
another
echo.
episode of Torres All Access. I'm Peter Theodos. Joining me for
I
the
can
second
hear
week
I can hear an echo.
Mr. Colby Brault. Yeah. Colby? Coming to you from the Bonfire.
I think it's your phone, Sean.
My phone.
There we go. Sean Bakoven, always behind the scenes. Great job, Sean.
On the ones and twos.
Kobe, we've got more Toros hockey this weekend.
Yeah, no, obviously a big, huge couple weekends here. You and I had the privilege of working the girls' high school state tourney last weekend, and the Spruans got it done. Yeah, it was rocking. It was rocking in the Mesa last weekend at the high school level, and I'm ready for some more Toros hockey. Like I said, 2 big weekends coming up here.
Absolutely. You know, big shout out to Bob and the rest of the Mesa staff, always doing a great job around the Mesa to keep the Mesa, you know, arguably one of the best rinks. I'd say top 3 rinks in the state. So
yeah, it's always cool to see people that, you know, aren't from around here or don't come to the Mesa much to be in there and be talking about it the way they were last weekend about how nice of a facility it is. And I mean, we know that we're privileged enough to go there every day, but it's cool for the whole state to recognize that.
Absolutely. And, you know, another great thing about this weekend, a couple of great things. One, Friday's already going to be a jam-packed game. I looked, you know, probably about 2 o'clock, and we are already over 1,700 tickets committed. So Friday's going to be jam-packed. Yep. Saturday, huge night. Mm-hmm. Another big night, another big crowd. And we have a Farmers Union jersey giveaway.
Yes, we do. I got it right here. And we got the right information this time.
Yes, we do.
We're not spewing misinformation. We got some numbers from, so Bismarck just had pretty much the exact same auction, different jersey obviously, but they were able to do about 3,286 total meals, over 1,600 pounds of food and over 1,600 in cash donations, which is, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Personally, I think we can do a little bit better than that, but that's just my very, very biased opinion. So Saturday, it's going down first. 750 people through the door get one of these sick jerseys. I'll stop talking and start modeling it for you, Pete. You take over.
Yeah, we did a jersey giveaway, the same kind of thing 2 years ago, my first year with the organization. Gosh, that was 3 years ago now. But the fans love them. I still see fans wearing them around the rink. If you want to get one of these jerseys, all you got to do is either bring 3 non-perishable food items or $10. It's 1 per person, and we will have different sizes. We will have youth sizes and adult sizes. So if you got a little guy or a little girl that wants to wear one of these really sweet Toros jerseys. We'll have youth sizes. Doors open at 6:30. So make sure you get there around 6:30 as early as you can. So you can make sure that you get one of these jerseys.
Yeah, and 3 items, that's the minimum. That's certainly not the maximum.
Absolutely.
You can bring in way more than 3 items if you feel so inclined to. But yeah, obviously, everything going towards a great cause. Like you said, did it a few years ago and had some success in doing it. So hopefully we can do even better than that.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a great cause. One thing that I've learned really quick since I moved to Minot is this community helps each other, and it's going to go to another great cause. The Lord's Cupboard Food Bank is where the food's going to go to. They'll have some representatives here this weekend if you would like to talk to them about maybe volunteering with them and helping them out. If not, please bring the at least the 3 items or your $10 or both if you choose so. Yeah. And just help this community, and walk out with a really cool piece of Toros memorabilia.
Yeah, and I just want to give one last shout out, obviously, to Farmers Union Insurance for getting those jerseys, putting that design together. I like how it incorporates their branding with our logo and things of that nature. So yeah, shout out Farmers Union.
Absolutely. And one last thing from my side, we're done playing the Bobcats this year, and they did a great job helping their people. Mm-hmm. We beat them in the season series. We actually set the most wins against the Bobcats in a single season this year. Mm-hmm. Let's beat them one more time.
Yeah, we'll count it as an unofficial extra win.
Exactly,
in the season series.
exactly.
Yeah,
let's beat them one more time and show them why Minot's better than Bismarck.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that.
Yeah, I think we covered that pretty well. Hopefully covered all the bases there.
Absolutely. So we'll go ahead and bring in our 2 guests for this evening's show. Fans, please welcome in defenseman Joe Blackley and forward Colby Amici. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
You guys have had both long, interesting roads to the Magic City. Joe, we'll start with you. Your road kind of started way back actually in 2020, 2021 when you started talking to Shane Wagner. We talked a little bit about it before we came on air. I had to ask you about this, but I actually remember picking you up from the airport to drop you off at a billet as you were in town to skate for a couple of days. Talk a little bit about coming to the Magic City for that first time.
Yeah, I had a pretty unusual road to coming here. So in 2020, 2021, that was when COVID started shutting rinks down in New York. And I couldn't get on the ice, and I was fortunate enough for Wags to reach out and say that I could come up and skate with a possibility of getting in a game or 2. So right after the new year, I came down and I started skating, and then I was lucky enough to get into a game, and then finally COVID started, the rules started getting more lax, and I was able to get back on the ice with Nichols and finish the season there.
Yeah. You ended up tendering in 2021, 2022 with after Wags had left and you tendered with Cody. What made you want to pick Minot?
Well, I got firsthand experience of how great the staff is, the rink, how the community treats all the Toros. And I talked to all my other buddies that were playing in the Null, and their experiences didn't sound anywhere close to how well we were treated here in Minot.
Makes sense. And obviously, Colby, pivoting to you, a little bit of a different story. We're talking a few years back that Joe discovered the Magic City, a bit of a newer experience for you, getting traded right at the deadline. You and I talked about it in an intermission report interview, but talk to us a little bit about that week. That was a pretty insane week as far as just the timeline of everything.
Yeah, no. So it kind of started with top prospects, and I decided I did want to move from my previous team, so I ended up asking for a trade on Monday, and I think that was the trade deadline, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And so, I was laying in bed getting ready to play for the next day, and I got a call from my previous coach, and he was like, hey, can you come up to my room? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And we talked for a little while, and he was like, yeah, I'm sending you to Minot. And I had a little bit of an idea, just because he told me previously that there was an offer, so I didn't really know what was going on. But, so then Coombsy walked me down, and I met Cody for the first time, and he shook my hand and said, I'm excited to have you. And I was like, I'm excited for the opportunity. So was pretty crazy. It it kind of happened pretty quick, but I'm pretty happy to be here. So.
No, what's really interesting, and why I love doing these shows is you kind of do a little digging on everything.
Right.
You guys played together. And
Right.
not only played together, but you were assistant captains together for Nichols. Talk a little bit about that. Colby, like, what was your reaction to getting traded to Minot and finding out that you were going to be playing with Joe? And then, Joe, what was your reaction to hearing that you're going to be playing again with a former teammate?
Yeah, I mean, it was actually pretty funny because I texted Joe, like, right after. Well, I think Cody texted him and said, hey, like, we acquired Colby, and I texted Joe. I was like, hey, I'm like coming to Minot. He's like, no, you're not. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, like I literally like just got traded like 5 minutes ago, and he was texting me, and a few other guys texted me, but it was pretty funny just playing with him at Nichols, and getting to play with him again. So.
Yeah, no, I was pumped. I was actually in the middle of a Fortnite game with some of the guys on the team, and I look at my phone, I see a text from Colby saying, hey, I just got traded to Minot. My first reaction was, that's not true. So then I was like, giving him some, and then I get a sorry,
Got to keep it clean. Attaboy.
And then I get a text from Cody, and he said, make sure to give Colby Amici a welcome to the team. So then I texted him. I was like, "Oh, I didn't believe you at all." And then I was like, "Hey guys, we just got a new guy from Buffalo on the team."
Yeah,
we got a lot of Buffalo guys.
Yeah.
To kind of add on to that one more, you guys also played with Lawton Zacher.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about playing with him. Joe, obviously you've been playing with the team or with Lawton all year. How nice has it been to have a kind of a familiar face on the team to help you transition into juniors? And then Colby, how nice was it to have another, not just Joe obviously, but
Right.
a third familiar face on the
Right.
team?
Yeah, it was great having Lawton here right from the start because you come to a new team, you get a new billet brother, you're not really sure what you're gonna think of anything, but I always had Lawton there to like hang out with
In Minot, North Dakota.
in Minot, North Dakota, where I knew no one. But yeah, he made it really easy, and I don't have a car, so the first couple of weeks he was giving me rides before I knew everybody and would ask for rides from them. So
right. Yeah, and I played with Lawton back when I was, I don't know, I want to say maybe 5 or 6, and his dad was actually our coach, so I've known him for pretty much my whole life. Him and his big family and brothers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was definitely nice, knowing 2 guys on the team, just because it's definitely a little tough coming into a new environment when the team is already developed and it's February. It's not September where everybody's meeting each other. So it was good to have 2 guys that I knew, and that kind of helped everybody else get to know me, just because they probably said some things about me and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think also, I'm sure it probably helped, at Top Prospects being able to meet, Haney and Colby Joseph
Yeah,
and
for
JD
sure.
before you even had started to pack your stuff up. Kind of interesting that you had to play for the South the next day
Yeah.
and then actually had to play against those guys.
Right.
But kind of full circle there for sure. The chat is popping off. We do have a question for Joe Blackley. It's from a guy, Joe Westland. He wants to know who's the best roommate in the entire NOL.
this is a pretty easy one. It's Joe Westland.
Oh, gotcha.
Not the best Fortnite player.
Yeah, no,
but
he's
the
not
best
very good.
And then we got Nate Mann checking in. Shout out Nate Mann. He said, "Can you ask Colby Amici if he remembers Nate Mann?"
Oh yeah, I remember Nate Mann for sure.
Excellent. And then Kayla Doe says, "How has Colby adapted to the new team and the fans?" Yeah, Colby, walk us through kind of, obviously in the South Division, things a little different. The rivalries, I wouldn't say they don't run as deep, but,
Right.
it means a lot up here. We talk
Yeah.
all the time about Bismarck, Aberdeen.
Wasn't your first game against Bismarck too?
I think no, my first game was against Aberdeen.
Okay.
Yeah, so
same thing.
Right,
pretty
yeah,
much.
two big rivals. Yeah, walk us a little bit through that first weekend and just kind of your first experience with the fans.
Yeah, so the South was definitely not like you would get fans, but there wasn't really a rivalry just because some of the teams were so far. So, but my first weekend was awesome. I didn't really know what to expect just because I haven't been here his first game, but the fans were awesome. They were super loud. I actually remember like the first. Like I think it was the first game. The refs were, or the fans were like, "Refs, you suck." Stuff
I
like
remember
that.
that was one of the loudest ones.
Yeah,
we've
and
had
I
all
was
year.
like, "Wow!" Like the fans they're real loud. They're really into it. And so yeah, my first weekend was awesome, and it was definitely a nice opener to what I was gonna be doing here. So I was happy for sure.
We you guys had the privilege to go to Higher Ground earlier, to kind of add on to some more about just the fans. It was packed there. There was so many fans there, so many kids. Joe, you were running crazy today.
Oh, yeah. I was tearing up the dodgeball court there.
But just walk us through, like, not only are the fans supportive of you guys on the ice, but they show up for these off-ice events, too, to try to get to know who you guys are as a person.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first year playing juniors, but I've never seen more kids, like, recognize people in public, just want to, like, be friends with them, get to know them, take pictures. I mean, the last home game of every month, we have Skate with the Toros, and that ice is always packed, and I swear you can't look around without somebody holding out a jersey and a pencil or whatever and asking for an autograph.
Right. Yeah, and to add to that, like, we would do kind of similar things in El Paso, for example, but when we would go out into the community, like, not many people would know who we were, but like here it's awesome just because everybody's like, oh, it's the Toros. Like, oh, can you sign my hat? Can you sign my arm? I was signing shoes and stuff like that.
Brand new Air Forces.
Yeah,
brand new. Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
Last game with the Toros. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. That's. Do you guys? I mean, obviously you've been playing hockey your whole life, like you said, first year playing juniors, Joe. But does that put any extra pressure on you guys? Having that type of notoriety throughout the community. Does it mean a little more? Do you think, or is it just kind of something you get used to over time?
I mean, I would say it does take some time getting used to, just because I would say, like, high school, depending on where you were, was a little different. Like, your fans were either your parents or 1 or 2 games or 3 games out of the year, you'd get a great crowd from your school. But now it's like people in the community and people you don't know, so it definitely takes a little bit of time. But I think once you get used to it, you cherish it, and it's so.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, we went to the same high school, so same experience there. But even with the fans here, like, I've never had somebody pay to watch me play hockey before and cheer as loud as they do. Like, flag guy, he's always there waiting. Always letting the refs know when they make a bad call.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I love the support.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You guys have both now played in a Red Kingdom game. Mm-hmm. We'll have the Red Kingdom again this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
How cool is that for you guys?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I've only really seen that from Kansas City because I'm a Bills fan, and that was we always watching there.
We'll
and
get there,
so yeah, but I mean that song, it was awesome. It was awesome.
We have a couple more people checking in, and this is a good one. How does Joe and Colby like sharing names with other guys on the team? How confusing has that been for you guys?
Well, I actually live with the other Joe on my team, and I go by Joe Mama, and he goes by Joe Baby, as our 6-year-old billet sister named us. So.
Okay.
But no, a lot of people call Joe Westland Westy, and I get called Joe or Blacks or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
I have 3.
Yeah, I have 3, but it's not. I've never really met anybody with the same name.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, most guys call Colby Joseph Colby, and then Woogie, and then me Meech. But it's funny because sometimes guys are like, "Hey, Colby," and like all 3 of us look. It's like, no, I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah.
Like, which one you talking about? And so it's pretty funny, but so
we have another player checking in. His name's not Colby Joseph, just so you know. And I'm assuming this is for Blackley, but who's the coolest Kobe on the team?
Who's the coolest Colby on the team? I'd have to go Woogie. He's my stallmate.
That's a fair answer.
He's my stallmate. Great guy. Always got a smile on in the morning, and yeah, it's got to be Woogie. Sorry, Colby.
No, that's all right.
That's which one? Yeah, that's
yeah,
you too.
Yeah.
I was talking to not Colby Joseph.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, we could probably do fan questions all night, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just saw
Colby
Colby Joseph
has left the chat, by the way.
Yeah, so that'll be tough to explain. But just kind of pivoting back to you guys' hockey journey and kind of where it's headed, Joe. You know, you're committed to Yale, which is kind of insane, at least to me, to be committed to an Ivy League school. Talk to us a little bit about that process and, you know, what made you choose there. Were there other offers, you know, within the Ivy League or around the East Coast, and kind of how did you land on Yale?
Yeah, so I actually committed to Yale in 9th grade, and I was talking to a couple other schools, but definitely my education was most important to me, and like using my hockey career to maybe get a better education. And I ended up going on an unofficial visit up there. They played Sacred Heart or somebody, and I just fell in love with it. It was their rink's called the Whale. Mm-hmm. It's got like it looks just like a whale on the outside, and that's why it's called the Whale.
Oh, really?
I mean, come on. And then the inside, it's kind of got this little gravity effect where along the sides where you think that you're going to fall over, but it's actually perfectly flat, which I think is a really cool part of it.
You know, someone smart at that school designed that.
Oh, definitely. Oh, gosh. I'm going to be over my head there.
So does that mean you're going to be able to design something like that then?
Yeah, what do you want to study one day? Or is that to be determined?
I haven't given it too much thought because I'm coming back here next year,
Right.
So maybe something with economics, because I did like that in high school. I thought that was really interesting, learning about GDP and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So,
Colby, you're not yet committed. You will be, obviously, at some point.
For sure.
Any thought on what you want to study, though?
I'm thinking economics. But I want to major in economics and then try to go into like finance. So we'll see where that takes me. So
didn't you tell me one time you wanted to try acting or something?
no, I'm not a good actor.
Oh,
That's
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, so obviously you guys both from the Buffalo area.
Yeah.
What or whom is your favorite Buffalo athlete? Currently, I have a feeling I know who you guys are going to say, but growing up, who were you guys rooting for when things were a little bleaker back then?
I would say growing up, probably Nathan Gerby, just because he was more my height, and I took his number for a little while, and so yeah. But I would probably say now I'd have to say probably either Allen or Diggs, probably, or maybe TNT Tage Thompson, because he's doing pretty well. So
yeah, mine's kind of a different one. My favorite hockey player for the Sabres was Maxim Afinogenov.
oh wow, I forgot about that.
Because when I was younger, I couldn't say his name, but he'd always it just seemed like he always was scoring goals when I was watching games, and you got Rick Jenneret announcing, and it was just that was great. And I used to call him Gandalf because I couldn't from the Lord of the Rings, I couldn't pronounce his name, so I'd run around the room after he scored. Gandalf scored. So he's definitely my favorite from back then, and then now. Yeah, probably Josh Allen. Diggs,
yeah, I mean
one of the two.
He's pretty good. So
Yeah.
If you don't say Allen, I'm actually going to be really concerned.
Well, yeah,
about that.
I mean,
It's Josh Allen.
it's an obvious.
Yes,
one, you know.
absolutely. Obviously, Buffalo's known for its wings.
Right.
I've spent some time in Buffalo and have been to a couple of really good places with some really good wings. But I want to know what your guys' favorite places are.
I'll let Colby go first because there's really only one right answer here.
yeah, but there's not.
No,
though.
there is. There's one that's just a step above. They're all good.
I'm gonna have to say Barbell.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because one of my buddies worked there, and he would paint the wings, and so we would go there, and like he'd like, hey, like these aren't painted well enough, and we'd send them back and get them repainted, and oh my gosh, they were so good. Like, but I mean, Duff's is good, but I think Barbell's the
Barbell's
best.
definitely got it. You can't really go wrong with wings in Buffalo anywhere
No.
you go.
No,
it's just, just something we're good
9/11, the bar. It's called
Yeah.
9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they've been there a couple times
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I've friends there, so
Yeah.
they love 9/11.
How early do you guys, like, growing up, do you know that? Like, is that like taught in school, or is that just like a common knowledge? Like, we invented the buffalo wing. Like,
Their first sentence. When
how
they're
soon into it? Because that's what I'd imagine. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think of if I grew up there. But obviously different. For
I mean,
you guys actually growing up there.
Me personally, I know my family at least, we would order pizza and wings every Friday. Just kind of open the weekend and everything.
Right.
So I mean, I can't remember the last time we didn't get pizza and wings on Friday. So just kind of growing up, it was just your regular pizzeria right by the house. I mean, my last few years, I think we've gotten from Bella Pizza, but then both my siblings are now working at Brunner's Pizza, which is right across the street.
Okay.
So now we're ordering from there. So, but the wings there are pretty good too. So.
Another Buffalo question for you guys, and obviously we know, Joe, you had some troubles getting back after Christmas break because of the snowstorm. Did you go home for Christmas break also, and what troubles did you have, or was it the same thing as him?
You guys got it. Did you get it pretty bad, or no? Were you?
No,
you were far.
I was fine. I was in Lockport, but
Right.
Buffalo was snowed out.
So I'm south of Buffalo. I'm in the South Towns, and usually the South Towns get just crushed, and Buffalo usually stays away just because the way it
The
works.
lake effect, yeah.
But we got it. But Buffalo and north of Buffalo, like I knew some people that lived in like Clarence and south or north of Buffalo and like North Tonawanda, and they were stuck in their house for like 4 days. We were stuck for like 2, but I mean we were stuck, but I mean we were still able to go to like my aunt's house because she was only like 5 minutes. So it was doable, but I mean it was pretty crazy. So
Yeah, hopefully we can avoid that this April.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that one. And
Yeah, that was.
do not want to relive that one. That was.
yeah.
That was
If you
bad.
didn't know, we got pounded in April
Mid-
last year.
yeah.
in April.
First week
Yes.
of April, yeah. It was
How much snow?
like a foot. It was.
That's nothing.
No, I know,
No,
but
it was-
it,
from
in
what
April,
you guys went
yeah,
through,
yeah.
what you guys went through was nothing.
yeah.
But what?
We had even earlier. My house got 7 feet in I want to say like November this year or last year.
All right, I'll quit complaining.
My dad said he snowplowed like 6 times. And I was
Jeez
like, we
Louise.
should have just let it go and
Yeah.
until it stopped. But
Couple of different questions coming in. We'll kind of combine these two. It's from Kayla Dosh and Xander Moe. What is your guys' pregame rituals and what is your pregame meal?
Honestly, I don't have too much of a ritual. I try and I sometimes eat breakfast in the morning, sometimes don't. Depends. Go to morning skate, go back home, have a bite, something small, maybe some scrambled eggs, and I sleep. I sleep right until about, if we have to be at the rink at 5:30, I sleep till 5:15, and then I jump in the shower, put my suit on, and I'm all set.
I don't really have too much either. I mean, I'm kind of the same as you. I used to not sleep on game days. But I recently decided to change it. Why not? And but I mean, other than that, I get to the rink, usually tape my stick, and then get unchanged, and then kind of get myself ready to go. So.
One more fan checking in. Some guy named Cody Campbell asks, how much do you guys owe Benny for all your success?
Who?
Benny?
Who's Ben? Oh! I'm talking about Coach Mike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he was our coach. He was our assistant for what, junior, and then
Yeah, your junior year, my sophomore year, he was our
Yeah,
assistant.
sorry, we're in
he
different
worked
grades.
the D. He worked the D my sophomore year, so I was pretty close with him that year. He was kind of showing me different things, kind of held me to a higher standard because he knew I'd be playing juniors. So I'm thankful for that.
yeah, no, he really helped us for sure. He was a great coach, and I'm happy where I am now, and couldn't have done it without him. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So.
I think that's all the questions we have in the chat.
The
unless you
stat correction, sorry. Like 48 inches last April in that
I'm seeing
snowstorm.
36 and 48.
Sounds
So
48, so
now
they're
your
more
ours still has
impressed. Yeah.
three times as much.
Yeah,
Right,
only 3
right.
times.
Instead of
So-
4. No.
It was taller than Josh Allen.
yes, it was.
I saw that stat like 12 times. on my
Taller than
phone.
Josh Allen. That's awesome.
Boys,
Man,
we
man.
appreciate you coming on. Is that all you got?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, busy 2 weekends coming up. As always, come out, show some love if you can't. Tune in, watch Ken and Noah Crusher on Facebook and
Or Hockey TV.
or Hockey TV or Mixler, or I mean anywhere that if you open up your phone, the possibilities are endless. That you
Oh,
can-
we have one more actually. Christopher Thomas asking what the trade process is like on getting traded.
Yeah. So it was a little weird, to be honest, just because I knew like a week before that there was an offer, and I had no idea who it was from. But I just caught wind that there was something there. And then, you know, kind of once it happens, you usually ask for a trade, which is what I did. And after that, it's kind of in, you know, both teams' hands and, you know, making sure that both teams get what they want out of it. And, you know, if it's a good deal, then they decide to do it. And if not, then it doesn't happen. But so I think that's kind of how it works. So
It's a great explanation, Colby.
yeah, you're welcome. Thank
You
you.
did a great job there.
That was
Thank
very
you.
detailed.
Thank
But
you.
I mean, yeah, it's. I think it's cool to be able to, for your own career, to be able to, you know, join a competitive team
Right.
right at the deadline like that.
Right,
I think that's
for
a unique
sure.
feature to this league for sure.
That's all I got. That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Gentlemen, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
There
Hello,
it is.
Mother. Hello, Dad.
Yeah, there it is.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, we appreciate
you.
you coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
For Sean Bachhoven behind the scenes, always doing a great job. That's Kobe Rolt. I'm Peter Theodos. Bring 3 cans of food or $10 and you get one of these jerseys. We'll see you at the rink this weekend.